this RH Jam, we discuss what being multidimensional means, who can be multidimensional, and how can we become aware of this in ourselves. Our special guest is Rob Koenig, co-director of the Reconnective Healing Global Teaching Team. Plus, we'll share with you an exercise from the portal with Dr. Eric Pearl himself. This is our online Reconnective Healing Level 1 course coming up right here on the RH Jam. Hi there, I'm Anna Clavel, and if this is your first time with us, the RH Jam is a weekly live program. It's not live today, but it normally is. It's live, and we cover all sorts of topics that have to do with reconnective healing. So we talk about anything and everything reconnective healing. Plus, we also explore things that are important to you as well as important to us. And in this interaction, we expand, we grow, we just share in our knowingness of what reconnective healing is. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone! And if you want to find out a little bit more about not only how we plan to expand this 2020 with amazing new programs and offerings from the Reconnection, you would need to, let's hear it. You said it! Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share with your friends, family, neighbor, person on the train that is connected via, airdrop or something. Share with the world, because if we don't speak our truth, if we don't speak about our experience, if we don't share it, we really will remain the best kept secret here of this planet. I'm not sure I want to be there, so I'm going to be loud. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to be loud. And talking about loud, let's jump in with that topic for today. Are you a multidimensional being? Yes, multidimensionality. I can hear some of you already out there going, am I a multidimensional being? Duh! I live in 4 dimensions already. Height, width, depth, and time. Okay, granted, yes, we know those dimensions, but we all also know that there are many more. As I said before, and I love it when my screen does this, that it just disappears behind. Okay, yes, I can see it. We have all these 4 dimensions, right? What about all the other ones that with quantum physics is already discovering and allowing us to see and explore how they interact and interconnect with the one that we seem to be the main one that we walk on, right? The one that we have for points of reference to ourselves. So what does it mean to be multidimensional? It's asking us, what I believe the question is asking us to move beyond this concept of the 4D. And maybe beyond the whole idea of dimensions. I love the image of this lady that I just showed you. She is encased in her multidimensionally as the rest of us, 4D, right? Okay, so technically in this case 2D, right? But 4D, and look at the world, the universe she carries inside. And with that, the infinite connections and intersecting points of not only existence, but knowledge, knowingness, experience. The information of the universe itself is contained within this 4D construct that we call ourselves. We call human, we call the planet, we call the universe as we know it, the one we can observe. We are measurable. So let's spin this a little bit. And what if there were no dimensions at all? What if what we're talking about is it's about the scale of awareness of the experience we're having as we allow, through the simplicity that reconnective healing offers in that interaction, that things become so simple and so clear that we are actually able to expand in the understanding of what is there hidden from us, but is still in plain sight. And when we become aware of it, That expansion itself may be what we've been calling multidimensionality. So let's take an example. What about deja vu? I'm sure most of you have experienced deja vu. It can be very interesting. You know, we know the great scenes in The Matrix with Keanu Reeves, the cat that keeps repeating itself. I'm not talking about that kind of deja vu. I'm talking more about when you find yourself walking somewhere, going somewhere, and discover that you having a odd feeling that you've done this before, you've been there before, you know these people, there's a connection that you cannot explain. Well, some will say that this is happening because we exist everywhere. We are actually coexisting with ourselves in multiple timelines. Getting a little bit out there? Oh, we're going to get a lot more out there. I guarantee you this is going to be like, what are you talking about, Anna? Please do let me know. This is premiering right now. So just let's go into the chat and let's see what you guys have to say about this. But seriously, let's go back to the whole concept of deja vu. So deja vu, what if it's not granted, some of it may be a memory that was acquired in a way that was not conscious, but you know, the mind is always clogging everything, and boom, it just puts it out there because there's a point of similarity, of commonality to that first experience, right? Yeah, granted, that happens, of course. But what if what you're experiencing is you're experiencing yourself somewhere else, or you're experiencing your memories, or that same experience from another timeline? Can it be reciprocal? This whole thing about being multidimensional, right? Or existing in multiple timelines at the same time. So some say these parallel universes or timelines can intersect and effect changes across all of them. And Dr. Shima, who was with us a couple of episodes ago, she spoke about her own experience, and that's what she was saying. She was saying that as she had that experience with Reconnective healing, she felt that whatever release was brought to these people she didn't know, she felt it affected wherever else these people existed. And that's the same way that it affected her. And this is one of those things that bring us into the larger question about what is then the basis for us understanding our reality. And truly, the basis for us understanding our reality is language. It's the language that we speak. It's the language we receive via visuals, via images, via math, via music. These are the languages we've learned to harness for ourselves, to describe this experience, the experience of everything, of the everything, trying to make it into, usable morsels, because it is so huge that perhaps what we're missing is the point that we are that hugeness ourselves. And when we get to Costa Rica, if you do come and join us in Costa Rica, that is the centerpiece of the discussion. And in that amazing week-long, serious, in-depth exploration and expansion on how we communicate in the language of energy, light, and information, one of the core aspects is precisely discovering what that multidimensionality means, is, how it feels. And later on in our conclusions, I'm going to share with you a few things that can help you gather that awareness for yourself. But Rob will be talking about this at length and plenty more. In the meantime, I love to offer to you this great little exercise that Dr. Pearl created for the online essentials, the portal, our online level 1 for Reconnective healing. And here it is. Hope you enjoy this.
So here's the exercise. Right now, you are watching me on this video. Imagine that instead of where you are, that you are sitting in the front row of a movie theater, watching me on the video. But a few minutes later, a second you walks into that theater. and takes a seat directly behind you, maybe 2 rows. Now I want you to be that second you, watching the first you, watching me on the screen. Notice your connection and your attachment to what you're watching on the screen. After a few minutes, a third you walks in, takes a seat enough.
You can watch the entire segment, that's just a little clip from this exercise, and so much more. All you need to do is sign up for the portal. And guess what? We are giving the first hour free. I have more information coming up. Plus, until the 31st of January. There's a special code I've added at the very end of the program, and that will enable you to receive 74% off the price for the portal. I invite you. Take this leap. Expand yourself. Harness what being multidimensional means. And now, without further ado, let's welcome Rob Koenig. And welcome again, Rob Koenig. How are you?
I am really well. Thank you so much for having me back.
I have been looking forward to this conversation with you. Guys, as you know, I had a great chance and opportunity to catch up with Rob at the Palm Springs event a few weeks back in December. And I have to tell you, it's always a pleasure to converse with you, Mr. Koenig.
Well, thank you very much. Likewise.
And I know that today's theme is not going to disappoint anyone out there. The topic is, do we exist in multiple dimensions at the same time? And I want to ask you first, Rob, what is your experience of multidimensionality?
Well, you know, this is such a fantastic topic, as are all the topics that come through this RH Jam. But this one in particular really speaks to our evolution. It speaks to our new knowingness, our new known. What is our essence in reality? And what is reality after all? But reality is, you know, some have defined it as that which does not change, which can be interpreted as what is eternal, what persists in the experience of who we are. So when I think about multidimensionality and I think about the idea that we exist outside of our physical form, we exist outside the limits of time and space, out of the 4D, then what we're really tapping into is our essence. And what we know of Reconnective healing is that it is a doorway, it's a gateway into experiencing ourselves as true essence, as pure form, as the eternal. And I'm going to tell you, my experience of multidimensionality really wasn't tangible, wasn't accessible until I met Reconnective healing. So for me, if you go back to the definition of our 4-dimensional existence being the limitations of time and space, when I discovered Reconnective healing and reached beyond that which I've known before and began to experience and interact and play with my timelessness and play with my this playground of interconnectivity, I finally knew what multidimensionality really meant, and that is pure connection to everything all at once. And in Reconnective healing, we get to experience these interactions with one another where we realize that space, distance is an illusion, and we can actually access a touch point where that becomes our new reality. So I want to explore this today with you because this is a really important aspect of Reconnective healing and the truth of our existence.
I couldn't have said that any better, because you're amazing at this. Anyway, you said something that really resonated with me and probably resonated with a lot of people out there. And it's when you said about multidimensionality was there, but you were not able to interact with it or were not aware of it until Reconnective healing. So that leads me to think, I'm just going to post it here. You tell me what you think, okay? So if multidimensionality is ours. It's something that it belongs to us. Is it the chicken and the egg? Is it that is it already there, or is it that it's something that is an add-on that our interaction with the frequencies of reconnective healing brings on as an evolutionary tool? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to me, this, in my current state of awareness that I've achieved through reconnective healing, I'm going to tell you definitively that we are multidimensional beings, and we've always been. And reconnective healing, again, I'm going to use the expression of a doorway. It is an access point that allows us to bring that experience into our knowingness. And again, I use the word knowingness because when you've tasted it, when you've experienced it, doubt completely dissolves, and you have a certainty that we do exist beyond time and space. So science and spirituality are now talking the same language. They're coming together in the assertion that we do exist beyond this physical plane, that the idea of particle and wave are not mutually exclusive. They are two different expressions of the truth of who we are. Our physical form, the particle aspect of who we are, is actually existing as wave and as vibration, as frequency. And it really, our attention actually is what guides us into which experience we are inviting into our now, our here and now. So when we are physically focused and we're focused on the limited playground of this earth space reality of time and space, then that becomes our reality and we're subjected to the limitations of time and space. But when we have an opportunity to bring our attention into our multidimensional essence, then we certainly have this opportunity to then let that become our new known, and we get to experience ourselves in that perspective. And so it's there for us to discover. It's waiting for us. And what we're discovering with reconnective healing, it's inviting us to experience this level of awareness. And it is incredibly euphoric when you step into that interaction and you can experience what is possible when you transcend limitation.
Yeah, it's like I've heard us say before, is as effortlessly experiencing eternity. But that takes me to the next question, because as you said, if this is something that's we've always been multidimensional beings, okay? We can then say and agree on that point. And reconnective healing somehow comes in and does something that allows us to become aware of this fact. I'm just taking it from somebody who's just coming in and listening to us and going, oh, that's very interesting. What are they talking about? Now, my next question might be, so does that mean that I can walk physically between dimensions? How would that work? Because, the other thought that may pop into somebody's head is like, is this like where the evolution of humanity is going? Are we shifting not only consciousness, but also physically? What are your thoughts on that?
Only time will tell what the evolution of humanity holds in store for us. But one thing that seems very clear to me is that as we continue to bring more awareness and attention to our multidimensional truth, I believe it shifts the way we experience life and how we become a catalyst for that shift in others. And so here's a practical example, I believe, of how this shift in consciousness really can transform the planet and in the way of evolution. When we view our experience and ourselves through the lens of multidimensionality, we start to recognize that the boundaries of separation start to dissolve. And so it affects the way we interact and show up in the world. So if I see you as an eternal extension of me, because we're no longer separate, we're part of the same unified field. And in viewing you as a reflection of me, it creates an opportunity for me to recognize that when I treat you and interact with you as an extension of me, there is an opportunity to raise the elevation of those interactions, because now I recognize that what I do for you is actually a gift I give to myself. And when I recognize that what I do to improve my own experience is a gift that I give to everyone else simultaneously, I think that awareness is going to really shift our evolutionary potential, because now we're going to have human beings on this planet that are actually recognizing the value of their own self-evolution and the gift of providing others the opportunity to raise up as well, because of this really synchronistic, giving and receiving equation. And as far as the concept of, are we going to transcend our physicality and are we going to be able to walk through walls, I believe that we are going to continue to see new levels of accessibility that are going to transcend what our current reality is showing us. And we've already seen this with Reconnective healing, right? One wave of the hand and we see the ripples of interaction in the physicality of another. I don't think we would have believed that to be possible years ago. And it certainly was the turning point for me, was actually physically observing the interaction and the changes in someone else based on what I was doing at a distance. I think really helped to kind of catalyze for me this new awareness. And so if we're able to interact and move matter through our interaction and engagement, then who's to say what other boundaries are going to crumble in the years ahead as we really ground this into our experience?
It's really is riveting to start thinking that way. And I love how you brought up the point in which we are an eternal, as we are witnessing each other and looking at each other, you are an eternal extension of myself. The whole concept of distance, time, space, they do not exist. And definitely not in reconnective healing. That's one thing that any of us who are practitioners and any of you who may have also received a session or interacted with the frequencies through our Feel the Frequencies meditations on Fridays or even on this program, we probably have felt that connection with everything and everyone. And it does change how we then approach any situation from a point of awareness and love without... I dare say without even the emotional baggage that sometimes those words, particularly love, can bring. It's just something so much bigger. It's more. It's like it's an eternal thing, right?
Yeah, and I was just going to add, when you talk about the experience of interacting with reconnective healing, when you put that next to the concept of dissolving time and space, we see time and time again observations where that is exactly what happens. How many times in a reconnected healing experience does someone say, I felt that time disappeared. I felt like we were here together for hours and hours when it was only a short period of time. Or the opposite. I felt like it was just a moment's interaction, although maybe we were interacting for 30 minutes. Or that someone feels a sense of, I wasn't even in the room anymore. I felt like my awareness took me outside of this room and I was everywhere all at once. So when you listen to the interaction, you listen to the observations that we're making during this interaction, we are seeing evidence of time and space disappearing in a very real, experiential way. And so so this is our gateway. I believe reconnective healing is a beautiful gateway into that new awareness.
And just to pinpoint what Rob just said, listening to people's experiences, a couple of episodes ago, we had Dr. Shima Beiji telling us her experience of reconnective healing, which was super powerful. I invite you to watch it. It's 2 episodes ago, the RH Jam. Rob, and this is one of the things that I had the joy of experiencing with you and interacting with you as well. Rob is the co-director of the global teaching team for reconnective healing. And one of the things that I've personally enjoyed is being in the classroom with him. It is powerful stuff. And I know there's so many things that are happening in that direction. Tell me a little bit more about teaching wise, what's in the horizon for you?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. I am so excited because I am going to be hosting and leading my very own Catalyst live immersion training program right here in the New York area. And, you know, I've been wanting to bring the training experience into the New York region for quite some time. It's actually been a while since we've been in New York, and it's my hometown. And so August 1st and 2nd, we are going to be offering our live immersion Catalyst program for those of you who really want to bring reconnective healing into your life on a very deep level. As you, I'm sure, have mentioned in previous jams, that the process of learning reconnective healing is elegantly simple, and it actually starts with an online training program that we lovingly call the Portal. And it's a portal into our awareness. It's a portal into our interaction with these frequencies. And it's a beautiful program developed by our very own Anna Clavel. You know, you did such a beautiful job, Anna, with that program. I still talk about it all the time. And it is the first step to then leading on to the live experience, which, again, I'm going to be hosting on August 1st and 2nd in New York. It's going to be at the LaGuardia Plaza Hotel. And it's going to be a weekend of discovery and of transformation. So I'm really excited to bring this program right here to New York.
And as you know, I've put the link below, so please check it out. The link to the Catalyst in New York this August coming up with Rob Koenig. And also, just want to mention the Living in the Frequencies, which was originally originated by Rob here and Joan Fowler and Kelly Woodruff. It will be back in January, and I've put the link here so you can, if you're an alumni and you are ready to take the next step online, there's a link for that too. We got links for everything down here. Rob, we're almost out of time. Share with us some parting thoughts. Multidimensionality.
Well, all I can say is that your multidimensional experience, your multidimensional reality, like we said, has always been a part of who you are. It will always be who you are. And so I would just encourage everybody not to hesitate to bring this into your experience now. You know, people talk about the multidimensional experience in kind of afterlife experience or life after death experiences. And I think one of the things that we've been saying for a while now with Reconnective Healing is that this is an opportunity to bring those experiences into our now without waiting to be between our lifetimes. This is something that's accessible now, and give yourself the gift of this awareness. Because it's transformative. It fills your life with such purpose and joy, and Reconnective Healing is a way to bring this into your experience now. So take advantage of the opportunity to go through the training, to bring this more fully into your life. And if you've already done the training and you're one of our alumni, consider the Living in the Frequencies series, because it's a way to bring this awareness more fully into your conscious everyday experience, and it's so there are so many opportunities for all of us to really engage on a deeper level with our multidimensional truth.
Rob, as always, such a pleasure to have you on the program, and I hope that we can talk you into setting us up some time for us in 2020.
Oh, of course. You don't have to talk me into it. I'm there.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay, thank you, Anna.
Once again, thank you, Rob. I can't wait to have him back on the show so he can tell us about all the new amazing things that are coming up for Reconnective Healing and the Reconnection this year, 2020. So here are, as promised, 3 ways to become aware of your multidimensionality. First, pay attention to those deja vu moments I was talking about before. Like I said, yes, it could be like it's what is called a suppressed memory, memory that you acquire not consciously, but it may also be you intersecting with yourself at another timeline. And why not? As we're discovering, the fact is that facts change. Nothing is truly set in stone. Most of what we call facts are actually artifacts of our perception, or whatever the consensus is at any given time about something that is factual. The only thing you can really truly trust is that which comes through you, through your own instinct. And that's something reconnective healing facilitates and makes it so much easier. And that's why communicating through that instinct is pivotal. So you can let the field of infinite information open up for you. So when you are in that awareness that you exist everywhere, in multiple places, inverted commas, because how do you define place really when we're talking about, such a huge topic here, right? But once you let go that you are only flesh and bones and just here in this 4D world, the whole field of information opens up for you and all possibilities are immediately apparent. And in that field, the observer does become the observed, become the observer and the observed. And that happens in that beautiful moment of simplicity in which all the other drama is removed, all our mind training is removed, in which we can step beyond and move beyond the never-ending narratives inside our minds, and we can actually just observe, notice, and experience ourselves as we truly are, infinite, eternal, multidimensional, possibly walking through walls soon, beings. And we're getting to the end of the show now, guys. And I would like to remind you, the first hour of the portal is yours free. Here's the link. I'll put it below as well. So go click on it and enjoy it. And let me know what you thought about it. If you guys are watching this as a premiere, please leave me comments. I want to know how you feel about the portal, if you've already undertaken this amazing journey with us. And if you have any questions about it, let us know. That exercise with Dr. Pearl is amazing. Gotta see the whole thing. I could only give you a little clip to get a little taste of it, right? And right up, I'm gonna give you a special code. You can get the entire program, all 8 hours, countless PDF extra study materials, and online communication with our global teaching team on specific forums and specific meetings throughout the year. Just with a special code that gives you 74% off, and that is only till the 31st of January. And for those who have not tried the live stream yet, that clock is ticking. It's only to the 15th of January. It's lovely to be here again. I'll see you next week. Again, a very happy new year, very exciting new year, a very expanding new year to all of us. And let's start being the multidimensional beings that we truly are. And you can start right here at the RH Jam. Until next week.